Stated Clearly presents, Can Science Explain the Origin of Life?
Alright, so this is your primordial Soup 8 friend, Lieutenant King, and I'm going to go ahead and review this video right here. Can science explain the origin of life? Absolutely not, and I'm going to tell you why. So here we go.
A full scientific explanation for the origin of life does not currently exist, but research groups are...
Okay, now notice, right in the beginning, he tells you the truth. He says, look, this doesn't exist. We don't have a theory. We don't have anything. So now you know the rest of what he's about to say is complete make-believe. All right, so he tells you right from the beginning. But of course, people won't listen to that, and they won't take that into account. They'll believe everything said after that statement was made. Now watch.
Around the globe are tackling the mystery. Here we'll take a look at a few of their discoveries. Darwin's theory of biological evolution tells us that all life on Earth may have originated from a single, relatively simple reproducing creature living in the distant past.
Now keep in mind that this common ancestor does not exist. All right? This is make-believe. All right, now keep watching.
This idea is based on many observations.
Okay? Comparative anatomy has nothing to do with relation, has nothing to do with common ancestry at all. Comparative genomics has nothing to do with that. This does not prove relation. If you go get a DNA test on your child, it has to be 99.9999% in order for you to prove that he is your child. So when they tell you that apes are 95, 96% like you, in a court of law they will throw that out as ancestry evidence. That is not your ancestor according to DNA. Now if that monkey was 99.9999%, then yes, he would be a descendant of the human being. But he's not. Embryology does not prove. This has been busted since 1860 something. 100 something years ago. Embryology has been busted. The fossil record does not show not one intermediate species between any life. He's going to admit that in a minute.
Which is that when living things reproduce, children are often born with random new traits. Those with negative new traits are less likely to survive and reproduce. Those with positive new traits are more likely to survive and pass those traits on to their children.
Okay, now this is true. Animals do pass traits down. They do become more, built for their specific environment. But that grasshopper they're showing you right there has always been a grasshopper, will always be a grasshopper. That would never change. That grasshopper might adapt into different species of grasshopper, but guess what? Every one of them will always be a grasshopper. Now you can believe 1,000,000 years from now it will change into a different kind of animal, but it's not going to, according to observable science that we have seen. All right? So if anybody tells you that a monkey turned into a man or an ape-like creature into a man, that has never been proven ever, not through DNA, not through genomics, not through chemistry, not through molecular biology, none of that. Never. It's never happened. Never will. A dog always produces a dog every time, never fails, no exceptions.
Over multiple generations, positive traits build up, allowing relatively simple life forms to evolve into complex life forms and even split into multiple different species.
They're still a grasshopper, still the same kind of animal.
A careful look at the fossil record overwhelmingly confirms Darwin's theory. Life forms get simpler and simpler as we go back in time. The records...
Okay, when we look at the fossil record, it does not confirm Darwin's theory at all. Every scientist will tell you that the tree is upside down. The tree of life didn't start from one single cell organism at all. That never happened. There's no proof of that. That tree they showed you in the beginning where it said common ancestor and then it showed all the branches, that's what he's talking about. Never happened. That exists nowhere on this planet. This so-called fossil record is not a record at all. The only thing you can prove from a fossil is that it died. That's it. You can't prove it had any kids. You can't prove it had different kids. You can't prove it's the ancestor of anybody. You can't prove that with fossils. You don't know what it looked like when it comes to skin, hair, scales. You don't know.
Suggests that all life on Earth emerged from primitive cellular colonies, which first appeared roughly 3.5 billion years ago. But how did those first reproducing creatures come about? Even the simplest bacteria alive today are far too complex to have popped into existence in a single step. Furthermore, the first reproducing creature could not have developed through biological evolution.
Now, see, he's telling you the truth right here. That the single cell organisms are so complex that there's no way that they came into existence by accident. Then he tells you there's no way that common ancestor came about through evolution. But then he's going to proceed to tell you how it came about through evolution. See, they tell you the truth and then they lie to you all in the same breath. Watch it.
Because biological evolution requires reproduction in order to work. The origin of life needs its own explanation. The most promising idea right now, the one which is consistently leading scientists to new discoveries, is the idea that life emerged from chemistry. Chemistry is the study of matter, particularly how atoms interact and combine to form molecules, and how those molecules interact and combine to form larger systems and structures.
Now, to believe this, it takes incredible amounts of faith. You're talking about millions of accidents happening in a row, in order. It's impossible. This is mathematically impossible. It's scientifically impossible, but they still teach it as science.
Everything is made of chemicals. The air we breathe, the ground we walk on, the shoes on our feet, even the feet inside our shoes. That said, the chemistry of life is special in two very important ways. First, the chemistry of life is organized into metabolic pathways. If you look at the cells of any living thing, even a plant which you wouldn't normally think of as being very lively, you discover a world of activity. Chemical reactions
Okay, you wouldn't think of a plant being very lively. Everybody knows a plant is alive. Duh.
occur in continuous orderly paths, each reaction sparking the next. Scientists call these strange reactions metabolic pathways. The second oddity of life's chemistry is that living cells are made of special molecules, building blocks like amino acids and sugars, which we once thought could not be found outside of life. These building blocks combine to form highly complex and orderly structures like genes, proteins, and cell membranes.
Right, now keep in mind, to make one of those proteins, you have to have 200 of those amino acids, and they all have to be left-handed. Every one of them. You can't have a right-handed one, okay? As soon as you get that right-handed amino acid in there, it's done. You got to start all back over. The chances of this is 1 to the 10th. Yeah, it's 1 to the 10 and 146 power. That's 10 with 146 zeros behind it. That's a mathematical impossibility. It just does not happen.
In the past, scientists had no idea what powered the strange activities of life
And they still don't know.
and produced its unique chemicals. They concluded that life must be fueled by mysterious energy.
That's right. It must be mysterious because they can't tell you what it is because they're full of crap.
They called the vital force. In 1828, a chemist by the name of Frederick Wöhler accidentally produced urea in his lab.
That's right, guys. He produced some pee in his lab. Now that proves that life started without a God. I mean, they used the most ridiculous evidence ever in the history of mankind. This is bull crap, and people believe this.
Urea is one of the main components of urine, one of many chemicals that the scientists of his time thought could only be produced by the vital force acting inside of a living creature. The The artificial production of urea suggested that life might not be powered by a mysterious force, but instead is powered by normal chemical reactions, which could...
Now see, notice how he takes a guy making urine in the lab and then translates that over to, oh, well, life just started by chemical reactions. Oh yeah, dolphin came from pee. It's just nonsense, man. And what's amazing is they call this science. They teach kids this in school. They teach them this. We got to do better than this, folks. I'm not going to finish the video. You can go watch it. It's called Can Science Explain the Origin of Life? The answer is no. Because you know why? Because they're not taking God into account. They always leave God out, so they don't know where to start, so they don't know where to finish. It's just that simple. There is no evidence of macroevolution. There is no evidence of chemical, stellar, planetary evolution. None. It does not exist nowhere. There is no geological column. That doesn't exist. Those different layers are not millions of years apart. They're not millions of years old. Those layers were laid down by a flood. It's just fact. They don't want to hear that. The reason you even have fossils is because of a flood. Do you know what it takes to make a fossil? It takes quick, rapid burial to get fossils. And we have billions of them. That is evidence, 100% proof of a global flood. Whether it was Noah's flood, whether it was whatever, it doesn't matter. That's proof of a flood. The Bible explains everything we see in the most common sense way. What we just watched does not make common sense when you're talking about life coming on this planet. It doesn't make any common sense. You have to believe this. And you have to get educated to believe this. That's what's so sad. So the point is there's no evidence of anything outside of a population of dogs adapting and staying dogs. Okay, that's with every animal. A dolphin brings forth a dolphin. A cat brings forth a cat. After their own kind. I know you evolutionists don't want to hear that kind word, but we all know what a kind is. What is a Ford? It's a kind of car. It's a kind of vehicle. What is a cat? It's a kind of feline. Okay? So you can try to sit here and say, oh, well, I don't know what a kind is and all that. You know exactly what a kind is. And you must deny it because it destroys evolution. Is there different species of dogs? Yes, but they're all the same kind of animal. There's no exceptions to that rule. And I challenge anybody to show me just one animal, just one is all I'm asking for, of an animal changing kinds. Now, I appreciate you watching this video, and you can follow me on Twitter at FreeAmerican100. And please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. And stop believing in this evolution crap. Thank you very much.